And welcome to the Weekly Scroll podcast brought to you by the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan.
And I'm a lost cannibal.
And with us, we have a couple of very special guests today. We have David Blandy and Daniel Locke talking about Eco Mofos today. How are you guys doing?
You're going good. Thanks very much for having us on.
Thanks for coming on.
Very much. Feeling good. The weather's good here.
It is not great. It is not great here. I assume that means warm versus boiling over here. Yeah.
It's been windy and rainy recently, and today it was sunny, so it's nice. You know.
I'm in Texas. I'm in Dallas, Texas, which has been currently hotter than I think 99% of the world. And it has been over 100 a lot. So
wow, that's too hot. That's too much.
Yeah.
I sleep all day and just ignore all of that. That's what I do. So
very sensible.
David, who the heck are you guys? What are you doing here, David? Tell us about yourself and what brings you to a tabletop RPG podcast.
Well, I'm a tabletop role-playing game designer and fine artist, and I've been making games for the last 5-6 years, starting with more kind of, I came from 5e, I guess, coming back into the hobby after kind of loving the red box when I was little and stuff. And then actually through playing with Dan, we had some sessions, formed a little crew in Brighton, which is where we both live. And then, first of all, started a homebrew campaign, and then started getting slightly frustrated with the rules. So kind of looked for different ways to have fun at the table with people, and found the whole indie scene, started getting into FKR, and looked at things like 2400 by Jason Tochi, which is what Lost Eons, one of my previous games, is based on. Really interested in solo gaming, like Lone Eons, which is the solo version, or Babel, which is based on Chris Bissett's The Wretched. So just kind of went through all that, and then recently I've wanted to move more into sort of I guess the OSR in some ways, looking at Chris McDowell's Into the Odd and Yohai Gal's Cairn, and seeing what the possibilities are there with that for telling the sorts of stories that I want to with games. So that's my tabletop story. What about you, Dan?
So I'm like David said, I live in Brighton in the UK as well, and David and I basically I sort of tag along where David goes, and we
that's not true.
That is true. I think weirdly, like, we've known each other for about 20 odd years, went to college together, so got a lot of shared interests, and I think weirdly we both started looking back at the stuff we liked when we were little. Like, you know, for me it was Games Workshop and miniatures and the red box and stuff like that, and we'd sort of start having these conversations about, I picked up this, I dug the red box out of the attic or whatever, and just sort of rediscovering it again. But for me that was about 5 years ago, and it was really the pandemic that sort of consolidated my current obsession with it. I should say, my day job is being a cartoonist and a graphic novelist, so it's only really a side step. So I generally work with scientists and help them communicate their research. But in that role, I'm introduced to loads of really bonkers ideas, and I'm a sci-fi obsessive and fantasy fan and all of that. So it doesn't take much for my brain to start wanting to draw humanoid rats and enormous insects.
No, you fit right in then.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be great having a team where, David's making these amazing games. You have a fantastic artist together. Do you guys do a lot of back and forth with that? You come up with something and then David, you stat it up, or vice versa? How does that kind of relationship play out in the design?
Yeah, it's really organic. I mean, I came to Dan with this project, and he really loved it. And but it's not like I'm saying, right, here's, I don't know, here's a tentacle hell, illustrate this. It was more like, here's a book. What kind of vibes does it give you? And yeah, draw some stuff, and then let's see what we can do with it. And then Dan, how did you take that on?
Yeah, it's like, as you say, it's really organic, and like you know, as I said, David and I have known each other for so long, so I think it's really rooted in our friendship, and just trying to. The first stop for me is just trying to make something that will entertain David, and something maybe that add a bit of value to something he's written. You know, we're daily contact on, especially on Discord. So there's a lot of sharing awesome pictures that we found, or like weird sci-fi front covers, and a lot of
that's my job.
Yeah,
I love we've got some really good we've got some pretty good secondhand shops in Brighton. A really good stall actually in the open market, which has a nice stash of 60s 70s sci-fi, and then I kind of treat myself to a couple every now and then, and I've got like far too many paperbacks now. Most of them just bought for the front cover.
Yeah. And
what is this? Amazing.
The covers are gorgeous. I wish that style would come back. I mean, it sounds like you guys have a nice kind of like what Robert Plant, Jimmy Page kind of thing going on, where one can inspire the other. So
that's true, actually, because I'm wearing a t-shirt now, but normally I'm bare-chested with a waistcoat. So
there you go. Yeah, just don't steal as much from them, and you'll be as successful, you know. But you guys are here. We're talking about Eco Mofos, fantastic game that's currently funding right now on Kickstarter. Just what is Eco Mofos, and what was the impetus to kind of? I know you said, you know, from 5e to Into the Odd and Cairn was kind of the path, but why specifically Eco Mofos and yeah.
Yeah, I've been working on Lost Eons for a long time. Like that was kind of the big project. It's 3 zines together. Kind of it was a big kind of design project. I was working in collaboration with a group in Cambridge. We came up with lots of lore to do with the area, and I liked it. And it's sort of like kind of quite solar punky, quite kind of hopeful future. But I thought it'd be fun to do something with a little bit more edge, and in a way, I was frustrated with the fact that, I don't know, that it was so kind of standalone. It didn't kind of connect to the rest of the kind of wider kind of gaming universe that I was seeing happening with all the things like Mike Anderson's Bastards, or like DCC, or like, you know, just this whole kind of family of different types of games that could kind of just about be compatible with each other. But I felt like Lost Eons didn't quite fit into that. Like I couldn't drop a dungeon into there and it makes sense somehow. So I wanted to. It kind of started as a shitpost, to be honest. It was like, what would happen if I mashed together Cairn and the character creation system from Bastards, the original Bastards, which was just the 6 types. So you roll your HP, and then it's one of 6 different classes that you would have. And I thought, you know, 6, I can do 6. Why don't I do 36? Because that's D66. And
it's just 6 times harder, you know. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just a little bit more work. And then of course I kind of because I was hacking it into Ken and kind of, you know, thinking about Into the Odd and kind of all the failed careers and things. Each of those characters, each of those different options had a set of items that would come with them, and that those items were, you know, I guess I get more and more into the idea of the game bringing you into the vibe and the lore through just your interaction with it. So you don't actually have to read the game. It's like it's all like built into the tables or the items that you're given, or, you know, it's not a new idea. It's very much inside, you know, the whole philosophy that Chris McDowell and that kind of whole lineage of games has been thinking about. But it's just, you know, it kind of felt right to me to do that for these characters. And then once I had that, then I wanted to create very much because I'm a lazy GM basically. I like to turn up at the table and just like, okay, let's play. Like I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be I don't want to be prepping too much. So how do I kind of create a space and a game that you can just like literally bomb into and start playing within 5 minutes, like as long as you kind of understand the system a little bit. And it was to create basically a procedural adventure system. So as you travel along, you can kind of roll for what the next section is, and then that section has like these series of D20 tables that create little encounters for you to meet up with on your journey to that next thing, which you then roll up. And all the time you're rolling on this D66 loot table. Well, actually, it's a D666 loot table. Yeah, and kind of more and more things are coming out. And sometimes it's like an incredibly rare thing. It's a bit like I don't know, like grinding in Final Fantasy 5 or 6 or something, where you're going into a forest and you know that like 1 in every 200 will be this like deadly dragon that has amazing loot. So you're just going back and forth in the forest, and eventually like, ta-da, here it is. So it's like that with the loot. It's like these key items, which are the things that let you adapt, which are like how you level up essentially. They're things in the world like implants and orbs for kind of spells, or maybe some weird mushrooms like that you ingest and you kind of bring into your body, and that kind of in your body adapts, and you have this kind of extra ability of some sort. Like it's kind of like it's like Arcana from Into the Odd, but it actually becomes part of your body. So it's not like a thing that you can put away. It's like, there it is, it's there. And like, so you could conceivably get all 36 kind of adaptations together and be this kind of uber character, like in Final Fantasy Tactics, where you're just kind of collecting jobs all the time and like kind of, you make these ultimate characters. But at the same time, it's just cool with just the one thing, and they're just different tools to try and solve problems, really. So that was the kind of start of it. That mixture between kind of a rules-like gameplay, but also no prep adventures, and kind of mashing them together. And of course, that creates a system that is ideal for solo play, because it's like, here's a system where you can actually just kind of follow the adventure as it goes and discover it, basically. And the dice rolls tell you what's next, and it's straightforward.
I love that. That is exactly the type of game that I live for. I'm like, I want to not prep almost at all. I want to know what the setting feels like, more or less. And I really enjoyed that whole like implied by the items, like items and stuff implying the setting without it being like a 4 to 10 page manual.
I think that's something that David's done so incredibly well though with this, is that each of the tables, there's not like one wasted entry. It's actually really rich in lore. It's just that it's embedded within those tables, and each time you sort of like use those tables or roll with those tables, you're sort of reinventing this lore. It's all vibe and flavor. It's awesome. Well done, David.
Yeah.
I'm blushing here.
I mean, that's if you're gonna have a rules light game, I guess you also don't need like a 50-page lore book to go with your world. It's really nice. We talk about this on the show a lot of times, where like the way that you write a game will really just innately influence the way that people play your game, and the way that people read it. If all of the tables are little lore bits and like every little part gives you a little bit more, it also encourages people to find all those little parts and read the entire thing, and not just like skim like an SRD or anything like that. So it's really, like you said, Chris McDowell went crazy with that, with all the Into the Odd stuff, and it's really nice to see that spread to the ITO or the Mark of the Odd. I was going to say Into the Odd hacks, but like Mark of the Odd stuff. Yeah. So when you started making designing this project, did you talk to like Dan right away, and were you drawing stuff right off the bat for it, or was it pretty far along before you guys kind of actually came together to do this?
Yeah, I was talking to Dan about it the whole time
Yeah.
because we just talk all the time. But it was really, and in the kind of early days, I was putting out I put out the PDF when it was like super raw, like those, it was just like the basic rules. It was how to create a character. It was some of the adventure stuff. And yeah, I started getting approached by people like Aaron Courtois and Brandon Yu, and they were just really into the project already and were kind of just drawing stuff like off the bat, like kind of just inspired by the lore to make stuff. And I started showing the project to Dan and kind of like, I kind of I just made this as a crazy project, but actually I think I kind of like it. Like it's got a really stupid name, but maybe that's good. Maybe it's like that makes sense for trying to, because it's along with all the kind of gameplay stuff, there's also the kind of the subtext of the game, which is that you're in a future world, a weird future where the mega rich have escaped to Mars and they've left everyone else to rot or kind of be kind of basically entombed in massive underground bunkers because the surface is kind of so scary. And what would life be like on that surface, and what would everyone be up to, and kind of
Hey, give it like 30 years and you're gonna know. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
This is it. It's not really science fiction. It's just kind of
Right.
extrapolating what's next. So
unless spaceships are like submarines, we'll definitely find out.
Yeah. Oh, oy vey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's we're heading into a quite dark times. I mean, we're already in dark times, but this is it's kind of that realm is. But I wanted to create a space that allowed for some hope. Like, things are getting bad, but there's going to be something after, and people are going to survive, and people are going to have lives and love each other and see incredible vistas, and like these things will happen. So it was trying to turn it from like that possible like just descent into grimdark into something else, but acknowledging that in that kind of movement, like we're going to have to accept a lot of change, and a lot of change is weird, which is where the weird comes from. So it's like things mutate, and we're going to have to accept that things aren't going to be exactly the same. So that's where that came from. And
I like that a lot. Very hopeful, very positive. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess it's bringing together a lot of our different influences. Like for both of us, we grew up on this comic called 2000 AD. It's like I don't know whether you have it much in America.
Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
But he comes from a comic called 2000 AD, which was like this crazy response to Thatcher's Britain. Judge Dredd was a bad guy. He's like the fascist, and it was like that's where it was coming from. And they made this comic full of like incredible like satirical, hard as nails characters, and sold it to 10-year-olds.
Listen, their money is just as green as anybody else's,
Yeah.
So it's like it's that kind of thing, and then also kind of thinking about like Miyazaki and all these other influences coming in, and writers like Ursula Le Guin or Octavia Butler. So kind of bringing in all these different things into one big pot and stirring it around.
Yeah, that's literally it. I think I did do some drawings from the very first iteration.
You did some crazy punks.
Yeah, they were like really, really cartoony, weren't they? Do you know what really got me into it though? I don't actually know how we've ended up with a Kickstarter. It's all a bit of a weird blur, but
mystery.
but I was really, really ill, and as I was starting to get better, I picked up the beta version of Eco Mofos, and I just started making these couple of pamphlets, which I put out on Itch, and that was for me, that was like the beginning where I was like, I'm not just drawing crazy punks. I could actually draw something cool for this. David's done something really cool here, and I really want to engage with it, and that's what I
remember. I do remember that message on Discord. It was like, David, this is actually really good. It was that thing.
I always thought it was good.
Hey, this doesn't suck, guys. Come on.
But there was that thing where like we're friends. Like I've shown him the thing, but this is the moment when I knew that Dan had actually read it, and it was like kind of like kind of you take it in, and it's like
it's like weird, isn't it? It's weird when like cultural artifacts like books, movies, whatever. Sometimes you can sort of be with them and you recognize them as decent and good and stuff, but they don't really spark alive. And then there is a moment where something will just like come alive in your head. And this moment when I was like in my sick bed playing the game on my own and just like reading it and rereading it and then rereading it again, and I was like, actually, I really want to do something with this. This is really, really cool. And the world just felt really real and really three-dimensional, and that whole thing of it. I'm a big lore person. I know lore isn't very like trendy or popular. But actually, I like a lot of lore. I like the fluff. Come on, it's like the good stuff. Especially if it's crazy and really badly written, then I can get into it. But yeah, no, that was when I started realizing that these tables David had put together, and I've seen them sort of, remember on our chats, I've seen them sort of become more and more refined, and I've seen various different edits and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, he's done something really good here. This is brilliant, and I need to get on board. And I just exploited our friendship, and like, you don't have a choice. These are points I've made.
Well,
so you said this kind of. Yeah. You said this kind of came about to a Kickstarter, and I really wanted to talk about the Kickstarter. First of all, I mean, the art, Daniel, is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you know that we like pink here on the show, but it is kind of like our primary color. So that's really throughout the entire kind of color scheme a lot. But the Kickstarter. Talk about the Kickstarter. You guys are already funded. I mean, there was at least in US dollars, because I know you guys use pounds still.
Yeah.
It was like a $2,500 goal, and you guys are at like $15,000. I mean, you guys blew past your goal, almost 300 backers. You still have 20 days to go. But as I said, talk about the Kickstarter. If people are gonna back Eco Mofos, what actually are they gonna get from you when they actually get the game in hand so they can play it?
Yeah, it's sure. So our main focus is what we call the art book, which is the kind of hardback 150 odd page book, which is full of Dan's art. Like literally it will be full of art, and then the whole document is going to be redesigned using Clayton Notestein's Adventurers template. I don't know if you've had a look at that, but it's a really amazing kind of template for creating amazing games, basically, because it has this really nice use of the sidebar. So you kind of have this mixture between the actual text, which is kind of really clearly laid out, but then the sidebar, which kind of allows you to have either meta text or little bits of lore, or kind of just give a bit more flavor or a bit more clarity to what you're writing. So the document as it is right now on the itch page is like, it's really super compressed. Like it's like every page is like high density, which is kind of cool, but it also makes it a little bit hard to pass, I think. So it's going to have a little bit more space. It's going to be nicely laid out, and then be kind of covered in Dan's doodles.
And the art is like, the goal for the art is, I've been looking at a lot of this mangaka called Masumoto, who did this amazing graphic novel called Tekonkin Street, and all sorts of other stuff. But one of the things I really love about him is that he draws a lot of influence from like French artists and mashes it up with like his Japanese heritage. And what comes out is this like really graphomanic drawings that are just full of ideas, like visual ideas. There's very few words in his comics, and it's all there in the imagery. And I was like, God, this is great for like ttrpgs, because the images stop being if we go this route, the images stop being like illustrations and they start being like another resource, like a place where you can put like further ideas and suggestions for adventures, or just like world building. Like alongside all the stuff that David and I have been sharing, I've been looking at loads of photographs from the Spanish Civil War, and that's why all these characters have all these like little pouches all over them, because there's this wild. It's like, if you should have a look at these incredible photographs of these like communists from, you know, Barcelona. They're dressed in like boiler suits and a whole like mishmash of different gear, and it's just, I mean, it's a terrible thing to say about a war, which is not a resource for like an artist, but it's just full of like flavor and character, and you know, you can just dive into these images and just stand alongside those militia men and women, and just be, you know, they're not faceless, they're not anonymous, is what I'm saying. And I want the images, well, I'm making the images to be like that, so that each image is containing this like this world of you know, a life or a moment, and it's got depth, and it will have all of that stuff going in there. God, that was really rambling, wasn't that?
No, that's fantastic.
No, that's fantastic.
It's awesome to hear where all of this comes from, because like I said, the art is absolutely stunning, and to know where the inspiration comes from that is really, really fantastic. So it's funny because when we were talking before, David and I talked about a little bit of this in Twitter. If I'd have known you guys were on Discord as much, we would have been in there and it would have been a lot easier. But they kept saying the art book, and I was like, but what about the regular book, in my head? And it's just like, no, it's the regular book full of more art, and that is why it is the art book. So that is the standard primary thing is the art book. But what else can people get from all of this, especially the deluxe art book bundle max with that one backer? I wonder who that is. Who the heck could that be? I wonder.
It's a mystery.
What fucking yeah.
It's okay. So we, as well as the art book, we have the spiral bound kind of kind of basically less art version, but it's spiral bound, so it'll lie flat at the table. It's kind of more portable in a way. It's
like a
more just. Yeah, straight for play. It means all these lovely tables will be just like, you know, flat on the table, and you'll be able to use them. And then the kind of, then we have like this incredible, it's become absolutely incredible because of all the stretch goals, bundle of adventures. They're going to be pamphlet adventures plus the adventure that we're going to be playing today, which is A Hole in the Ground, which is an A6 kind of 16-page adventure, plus a couple of pamphlets that Dan's done about cool little settings. But then these adventures by Sam Lee, you might know Goblin Mixtape, Logan Dean did The Company and Demon Fucked in Cleveland. Ico did the
everything. Yeah,
everything. All that
Skyrim,
exactly.
Lost Bay podcast, all that stuff. Yeah,
and
lots
then,
of bundles.
And then exactly, and some guy called ZXU is producing the next one, which is like literally getting in contact with ZX was just like, wow, like you agreed to be part of this thing, and that just blew my mind. It was an excuse to talk to him, really, and and cool. Now he's going to be making a pamphlet adventure for us about a kind of an old mech. Basically, it's like what do we do with nuclear warheads? It's pretty much his adventure. That's the only one that's not funded yet, so we're looking to get up to. It's only another.
We're closing in.
We're getting there.
Oh.
We're getting there.
Yeah, because I was looking at it in Merc, and so for me the numbers were a little different. Yeah, so you guys are. It looks like you're sitting at just over 12K.
That's right.
And Zedek is about 13 and a half. So, I mean, I think with 20 days left.
20 days left. It's like, yeah,
20 days left. If some of you guys out there listening want to bump up to that, that deluxe art book pack, we'll get some Zedek too.
Yeah.
I just got my Reach of the Roach God, and it's just out of hand, or I'd bring that up. But it's interesting that when I think your project, and I think that is Zedek Sue, and that's the first thing that pops in my mind. It just kind of makes sense to have Zedek on this project. So that's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've loved Zedek's work for years. It was. I mean, seeing Thousand Islands was one of the things that just basically blew my head off. It was just like what you can do with such sparse prose and just create like whole worlds in so few words often, and that it's incredible, like just pure flavor. And I'd say it's like one of the biggest influences besides like the kind of more mechanical influences on my writing and on this work. So we've got all these different bundles that add all these things together, so you can get the spiral and the art book and this bundle all together in the nice bundle. It's nice. It's £69. And then we decided to make an absolute, like, just the most gorgeous Riso print possible, like 4 different layers of the classic punk with his back to you, and it's kind of it's the patch. There's Weird Hope, and it's going to be one of the main covers from the game, and that's going to be this Riso print. It's going to be really limited edition, and it's going to be gorgeous. We're going to be working with a printer here in Brighton to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. Doppel Press, they're so good. Like I've worked with them before,
and it's going to be amazing.
I love that punk. Like, it's so cool looking. Such a great character.
All the like David was saying, all the artwork. The reason it's got this funny like texture and looks a little bit dated in that way is because that I make all the artwork like on pen and paper, then scan it in, digitally color it, and then I do this process called 4 color separations, where I reduce all of the colorways down to their constituent ratios of cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. That
K is black, yeah, that's right, yeah.
and then you recombine them like a screen print, and you get a full color image. That's one of the reasons that everything's got this slightly warm pink tint to it. Like the original artwork before they get separated, they don't necessarily have that pink. Although I was looking at my Instagram the other day, and I was like, shit, I really like purple and red. It's like,
yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Was that did that come about because of print, or was that just always just like the colors?
There is actually a story there. There's a story there. So basically, I was making like the artwork, like my drawings, and David said, "There's something there's something missing. Like, can we make the artwork flatter or something?" And we were just like chatting about it, and that's where 2000 AD comes in. 2000 AD was like primarily black and white, the inside, but the outside was full of these like insane, psychedelically brightly colored covers, and they all were made using this process. It's like the way that printed material is still printed, but we were surrounded by it, and back then in the 80s and 90s, it was pretty on pretty like crude paper, and it's pretty raw process, and so I was like struggling to work out what David was meaning by asking for the colors to be flat. I was like, flat? What do you mean? And we were talking about 2000 AD. So I was like, all right, these are 4 color separations. I'll just try that. You can do it with Photoshop. I did a bunch of them, and I sent this flamer character to David, and he was like, nailed it. And I was like, yes, I have, motherfucker. I've nailed it. I just knew it was right. And I was like, that's how it's going to be. And so there you go. That's the story.
No, it's there. It's the art is absolutely stunning, and I know So, how did we get to 3 covers? Was it just like, wow, that one's really good? Wow, I have another one that's really good. Oh, I have another one that's really good. I guess we're doing all 3. Like,
Pretty much. Dan's just a drawing
Discord.
machine. What can I say?
No, it was actually Discord, and it was Eco. I think. I did the bug cover with the punks that are like falling and tumbling. That was the cover.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I made like the punk with the weird hope background. And then I made like the snarling girl. And I think David showed a couple of people on Discord. Ico was one of them, or Ico was one of them. And then I got this message from David later that day saying, yeah, it looks like we're doing all 3. So yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, probably foolish in terms of like printing resources and stuff, but like I I think it's a fun thing. Like,
Hey, listen, at least one person wants all 3 covers.
Yeah, that's the other great thing about that particular bundle is you get all 3 covers.
that's probably why that person backed it, because they have a problem and they can't not buy every variant of a thing when it comes out, because they don't have a problem at all. So yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what else we got on the Kickstarter. I mean, back all of it, obviously. Oh, and you just recently, I think the last thing is you are deciding to put out Lone Eons in print for the first time, right?
That's right. Yeah, we basically got some. You know how these things go. Like you start getting questions from backers. It's like, is there any way that we could add on Lost Eons onto this? And then someone else was like, oh, I've been looking for Lone Eons. Does that exist anywhere? And it's like, well, actually, why don't we just get it done? Now we've got a bit of, we've got some funding to get some more stuff printed. So like, let's just get that out into the world too. So yeah, you can add on the Lost Eons 3 books. You can add on Dan's book, The Helms of the Multiverse, which is really cool. And then you can add on Babel, which is my Wretched and Alone hack, where you're inside the Hieronymus, the kind of crumbling Tower of Babel, and and Lone Eons, which is the solo version of Lost Eons. Kind of quite a kind of classic card-based solo RPG, kind of mixing together bits of, I guess, kind of like a free-form Wretched and Alone hack, basically, but with kind of more, far more journaling, like you're exploring this space and discovering it for the first time.
That's the first time in print, isn't it?
Pardon?
That's the first time that's going to be in print, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's never been printed before. It was one of those games I wanted to print it, and I've always kind of been thinking, I'll do it next month, or I'll do it and it's always just been put back, and it's just like, let's just do it. It's just so stupid not to have printed it. So yeah, it's going out.
Hey, listen, I mean, might have added that on too. So the tier, I mean, if you guys keep adding more in, I'm gonna keep getting it, but don't, because it's already kind of expensive. But yeah, so listen, the other thing we wanted to do today, not only are we talking about okay, last question, why Eco Mofos? Like, I understand eco, but like, where, like,
it, like I said, it came from a shitpost. It started out Solar Bastards. Yeah, exactly. It was Solar Bastards, and it was so it was me. Yeah, literally that hack of Mika Anderson's Bastards, along with like the Lost Eons setting, kind of, but kind of more recent. So Lost Eons is based 8,000 years in the future. This is based like kind of 200 years in the future. And yeah, solar, because it was like kind of, I was thinking about solar punk and things like this. And then I realized, well, if I put it out as Solar Bastards, people are going to think it's a Bastards hack, and really it's not. That's kind of misconstruing it. It's like it's really it's much closer to Into the Odd, much closer to Ken. So I've got to change the name, and it became like, Eco it was Eco Motherfuckers. And then it became, and then I really liked what happened, like Eco Mofo, it kind of like that repeating of the O, and this kind of really, and it kind of seemed like, especially with the exclamation marks, it seemed really stupid. And I thought, yeah, that's perfect. Like, just really dumb. People are going to do really dumb things in this game, and it's kind of about just going with your gut and getting on with things, and it felt right.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm a big fan. I do think it flows really, really well. I think it flows better than Eco Motherfuckers. So Eco Mofos it is. And really excited to get it. And also really excited to play, because that's the other thing that we are doing today. We are going to step away for a couple minutes just to get that set up. But if you're here watching, you definitely want to stick around, because we are going to be playing a one-shot, David running, myself, Daniel, and Hunter through an adventure for Eco Mofos. So stick around for just a couple of minutes and we'll be right back for that. Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Scroll podcast, where we are here with David Blandy and Daniel Locke and Hunter to play Eco Mofos, the project that is currently very successfully funding on Kickstarter. So we're actually going to go through an adventure run by David for us and give you guys kind of a preview of what you can expect when you back and play Eco Mofos. So David, what do we got going on?
I'm David Blandy. I'm the designer of the game, and we're gonna roll up some characters, and then we're gonna go through an adventure called A Hole in the Ground, which is a adventure I made for a little jam that I did for Eco Mofos. It's kind of loosely based on A Tower Darkly by John Davis, but adapted for the Eco Mofos setting. So we have first character creation. So Dan, I think you've got a character, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I wrote one earlier on. I'm happy to roll another one, but I actually did like a drawing of her as well, which is there. Can you see her?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love the cutout. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's
I
great.
think I'm just gonna
Perfect.
be like a puppet. Her name is River. And she's like a hacker, but she's also got a bird. I did the whole like life path thing, and the whole thing was produced using the tables. Normally with stuff, I just like make it up and then just make it fit the game. But this time I was like, I'm going to really engage with all the cool tables and processes that David's put in place. And it's produced this really, really interesting character. She's got this burden, which is sadness. She's got a deep secret. She's pretty kick-ass. She's got a blaster and a scalpel and night vision goggles. I always wanted a pair of night vision goggles when I was 12. In fact, I still do. Yeah.
I still want one. Yeah, but I want one right now.
I was gonna say, you did then, but you still do now. Yeah. What's her name again?
River. Actually, her name is hilarious because I used the name generator. No. So her name is River Minx. But she doesn't like to use the surname because she doesn't want to sound like she's featured in some sort of aquatic pornography.
There you go.
Got something against aquatic pornography, but yeah.
Yeah. So I got River for you. All right. So character creation, what are we doing?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm gonna talk you through it. So this is the character creation that is in the edited book, not the version that's on the PDF. So it's slightly adapted. And the first thing you got to remember is to keep track of your ones, because every one that you roll, we're going to add an extra item from the D66 table of loot. So first of all, you roll a d6 for your starting hurt protection. So that's your HP. And in this game, HP is it's not like HP in Dungeons and Dragons. It's more of a measure of how able you are to avoid getting hurt, basically. So until your HP is gone, you're kind of untouched. As soon as you get to a safe space, all your HP comes back. But once it's gone, then your strength starts depleting, and that's when you're getting your wounds, basically. And once your strength gets to 0, you're dead. So, but quite often you'll be incapacitated before that point, because each time that strength gets hurt, you're going to roll a save. And if you fail that save, then you're down. You're not dead, but you're down. And you have to rely on your compatriots to help you out of that mess. So yeah, if you both want to roll your d6 for your hurt protection, then we get started.
Done. I got a 4.
4, nice.
I got a 3.
Okay, so we've got a 4 and a 3. Now you're going to roll another d6 for your adaptation. So the 4 means you're a rogue type. Let's see what exact adaptation that is after that. So
I rolled another 4.
Another 4. So you're a drifter, and a drifter, D4 drifter is okay. So whenever you go foraging, you roll for 2 items rather than 1, and you always have advantage on combat initiative. So you always go pretty much go first. You start with a 6-shooter antique, a locator device, a padded trench coat, a wide-brimmed hat, dusty clothes, and a flagon of moonshine.
Just like real life. I am in Texas, so.
And how about you, Ryan?
I rolled a 5.
A 5 and a 3. You're a shape changer, and you're a fungalist.
Ooh.
So let's have a look what the fungalist does. Fungalist can turn into a being of fungus, able to scale sheer as fast as they can run. So you can kind of go straight up. Risk a burden to return to your usual form. So yeah, you can kind of stay as a fungus being for a while, but if you want to turn back to kind of a general humanoid, then you have to risk a burden, which means, yeah, rolling against your will and seeing if you can pass. Your starting items are a staff with a fungal core, a vial of slime, a padded cloak, a wide-brimmed hat, some sunglasses, and some mushrooms. And now we're going to roll for your ability scores. So you get strength, dexterity, and willpower. And each of those you need to roll 3d6 for. And remember to keep track of your ones.
All right, so we are just a roll. Oh shit!
I rolled 18.
No way.
I rolled 18.
No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
No, I did. That's what my shit was.
Oh.
I was like, no way, we both did it.
No, I was lying.
What did you get 18 in? Was that in the strength? Or
Dex.
Dex. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So you got strength, which is how much body you have to lose and bruise. You have dexterity, how well you can dodge and sneak, and willpower, how well you can focus under emotional and psychic distress. So that's your 3 abilities. And now you get your luck, which is 1d6, and then we'll add 6 to it.
Do we keep track of these ones too?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
I only rolled 1, so.
Okay.
2
Pretty
ones.
good. I think I rolled the highest stat I've ever rolled on a mark of the odd 3d6 d20 roll under game ever. I rolled a 16 for will. I'm like, that's crazy.
Nice. Amazing.
I also rolled the highest ever. I literally rolled an 18, which is the highest you can possibly get. So I am fast.
You're on fire.
I did that the other day. I just rolled dice once and got 3 6s, and it was just like, what? But
666, baby.
Yeah, exactly. It was a sign. Right, and now we're going to roll for your age. So just roll a d6. On a 1, you're kind of a teenager. 2, you're 20s. 3, you're 30s. Blah blah blah.
I'm gonna put my character as the exact same age as me.
Okay. And now you roll for a burden that you picked up along the way. So that's a D6 too.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. You're enraged. You need to unleash your anger on the world or refuse to engage in violence when you could. And if you do either of those things, you will be released of that burden and it will disappear from your inventory because you only have 10 inventory slots. So at the moment, it's taking up one of those. And how about you, Ryan?
I got a 5.
5. You're sad. So you need to either share a
Just typical.
either share a deep secret with someone or indulge in a shameful vice. One of those will get rid of your sadness. Okay. That's something you can do in play.
Like real life.
Yeah. Oh dear.
All
right. So how many ones did you have? And should we roll up some extra items?
I had 2 ones.
2 ones. So if you want to roll, let's roll your first D6 on that sheet. First D6.
I get a 2.
2. So that's on the weapons table. Roll again. 2 more times.
A 1 and a 5.
1 and a 5. You have a wrist crossbow, which does D6 damage.
And, when I was 12.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's this kind of de rigueur in Mad Max world. And do you want to roll another thing? If you roll the first dice again first.
A 6.
A 6. Here we go. Now we're getting into the cool stuff. Roll 2 more.
3.
3. Okay, you've got an ingredient. Interesting. What ingredient do you have? You need to roll 2 more.
2, 3.
2, 3. You've got a shiny beetle.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Delicious.
Exactly. You can combine ingredients in this. Once you have 3 different ingredients, you can combine them and they produce something. You roll for a kind of random effect, and that becomes what that particular combination does in your game. So it could be things
mini
like
game. Yeah. Fungalist is definitely out there just fucking harvesting all the time, just like looking for ingredients.
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
I had 1.
Okay, you have 1. So yeah, let's roll up this item.
I got 3 for my first D6.
3. Okay, 3. So it's some stuff. Yeah, let's see what stuff you got. 2 more D6s.
5 and a 5.
5 and a 5. You've got a grappling hook.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Right. Now
what's your inventory size? Is it your strength?
It's 10. No, it's 10.
Okay.
It's 10 slots. So it may be that you have too many items, including your burdens. So you have to choose which things you discard.
Cool.
Do you want kind of suggested names, or do you want to? I've got some names that you could roll on, or you could.
I'll take a suggested name for my drifter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's just go. Right. Your nickname is 12. Okay. Your nickname is Minx, and then your family is 16. Ali. Minx Ali is you. So, and do you want anything else? You can have a demeanor if you want.
Yeah, give me a demeanor.
Oh dear, you're depressed.
Oh, Minx is sad.
Yeah.
Wow, we're a really sad crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can roll up or get a character name too. So we got River, Minx, and me. Who is me?
Okay, so you're Honey.
Damn right.
Honey Wang.
All right. Well, I'm definitely putting that whole name on there. I guess everybody, let's just do it. Let's Ali ALI for Minx Ali.
Yeah, that's right.
And then River, do you want me to not put Minx because you don't like it? Maybe
like it.
You don't like it. So
Oh,
River,
go on, then.
I'm gonna put.
No, actually, I'll have it. I have it all.
All right. I'm gonna give you a little bit of that. You'll see what that looks like. Okay, so I'll throw those names up as we get going, and that's all.
Awesome.
That's character creation.
That is it. Yeah, your character's ready to go. You've got
Easy.
your.
What was my demeanor? What was my demeanor for Honey Wang?
Oh,
Honey Wang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honey Wang is. Let's see. We just got to roll d20 here. You got a 9. You are dry. They maybe have a dry sense of humor.
Well, I mean,
So you're sad and you have a dry sense of humor. So just go ahead and just play yourself.
I mean, that's what I do. All right, cool.
Okay, so yeah, so you three have been stumbling around in the mountains, through the malevolent hills, and you found an overgrown entrance to a cave, to shelter for the night. And Minx, you've come across a half-sealed opening into a fathomless pitch-black tunnel, and there's a hint of warm, putrid air seeping from within.
Fathomless and pitch black, just like my sorrow. Hey, I don't know if y'all care about this, but it seems like I found an opening.
I'm gonna go in.
We're literally just a bunch of depressed people, and it's just like, sure, I guess we'll go. There's nothing else to do.
What do we have for us up here? You know, like let's might as well check it out.
Yeah.
My demeanor is knowing as well, so I'm gonna knowingly go into this hole really sad.
And I'm dry, so yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, you start to stumble down into the darkness, and there's you notice a kind of residual light here, like there's a sort of glowing around floor level, and you start to see that there's this sort of grand entryway opening up, and it looks kind of like columns. There's like a marble floor, and then these strange logos on the walls, and yeah, it looks, the columns look, I mean, you know some things from the olden times, and they're what you would call like neoclassical. They're sort of like Greek style columns. Yeah, and the floor is kind of covered in kind of a strange pattern, kind of alternating different colors. And all the way through, yeah, you kind of look around the room and you can see that the far door has been barricaded by a huge kind of pile of primary colored office furniture, all kind of pushed up against that door.
Y'all think that stuff's there for a reason, or did they just do that?
Nah, couldn't be there for any reason at all, could it?
I might take some of those pieces of furniture and get comfortable down here in this putrid dark hole.
Right.
As you look around, you see some things are moving. There's a bunch of robots. Let's see how many. There's a couple of robots, and as you watch them, one of them is shouting, "Be lucky, be lucky, be lucky." and the other one is shouting, "World difference, execute!" And they're kind of moving around this space.
Are they shouting at each other or us?
They seem to be shouting at you. They seem disturbed by the fact that you're there, and they seem to be following a very particular path across the room to you. They're not kind of coming straight at you. They're kind of going a particular kind of zigzag pattern. It looks like they're kind of following some of the tiling that's on the floor.
Huh. Is it like, are they following like a single color of tile across the floor?
Yes, they're following the white tile.
I'm gonna stand on whatever color they're not going on. So, and I'm gonna start walking on those tiles towards them.
Okay. So
How
as
big are
you
the
walk, they're large. They're kind of like a couple of feet wide each one.
Slab.
Yeah, like large paving slabs.
Okay.
And and as you step on one of those tiles, it just opens up beneath you, and you fall through into a space below. What are the other two of you doing?
How far? I think I'm just going to jump in the hole. That's going to be my philosophy for this game. I'm just going to jump in the hole. That's my stock answer.
Okay. You both go down, kind of. I'm just gonna. Okay.
What about you, Honey Wang?
Oh no, I just go to the edge of the hole and I'm like, perfect, and exactly what you wanted to do, right? Good job, guys. Way to be.
Yeah, it wasn't too far, but you did take you both take 2 damage to your strength because of that fall.
Perfect.
Where are we now? Like, what are the surroundings?
You're down. You're in a very dark space, and there's lots of kind of strange, kind of little lights moving all around in the wall.
So I can't see like what's causing the lights. Is it organic or like machine? Are they fireflies or?
You can tell they're definitely machine. It's lots of LEDs, and you see that the room's circular, with a series of shallow alcoves, and as you kind of your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can see that there, in each alcove is a strange piece of chrome-plated technology, or this next one holds a kind of weird thing that doesn't look like it's from this planet, in fact.
Right.
And then the third one's a vial with some sort of alien beast inside.
I think I want to try to pull the chrome little artifact out of the wall and handle it and take a look at it.
Okay. Yeah, you pull it out. It just seems to be a kind of an oval piece of metal. It has a strange weight to it. Like it's much lighter than it should be.
Is it? Yeah.
Is it too big for me to eat?
Yeah, it's kind of it wouldn't fit down your throat, no.
Okay.
Is it like obviously mechanical? Like, can I intervene with it and take it apart? 'Cause like I could I want to try and override its like electronic security business.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a solid shape. So
okay.
it's
Yeah. Okay, so what
Yeah,
tell me about the lights again. I want to use my abilities. I want to start taking shit apart and putting it back together in an 18th style fashion.
Okay. So you're having a look around, and you kind of see that there's a switch on a panel there. Yeah, you can see that it's wired up to do something.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try and wire it in a useful fashion. Like
Okay.
perhaps it'll open something.
Yeah, as you kind of fiddle with it, this array opens, and a kind of panel the size of a hand opens up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what's
looks-
Wang?
I don't know. Yeah, what are you up to?
How are you doing with the security droids?
So how yeah. How
Yeah,
what how far
yeah,
down did they? Can I see them, or are they
Yeah,
in the?
well, it's much too dark to see them per se, but you can kind of you can hear them and you can tell that they're safe. You heard the thud, so you know that it's not too far. It's like kind of probably like 12 feet drop or something.
Okay. And then what's happening with the security droids up on?
Yeah, so the droids are coming up to you, and they're kind of like hassling you. They're kind of right next to you, but they seem to be kind of generally like bustling against you, but they're not hurting you per se. They're just like being annoying.
Can I just like smack one into the hole?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Just like when you talk too much in church, you know.
Let's yeah, I think that would be, the droid would have to make a check for that. Does it manage to get out of the way? No, it doesn't. So yeah, I rolled D20, tried to roll under 10, which would be its dex, and it failed. So it's falling into the tunnel, and it lands on its back and kind of falls apart of the base. It's quite kind of a broken thing already, so it's now kind of bleating in the darkness. And actually there's kind of some lights on it that they're kind of lighting up the place a little bit.
Oh, there you
so
go.
you can
You're
kind of
welcome.
see down there.
Thanks.
A bit clearer.
I look at the broken thing falling apart and envy it a bit that it is ended.
The three worst people you know go on an adventure.
Right. How many security droids are up here? Because I don't know.
There's just one more. There's just one more next to you. So
I think if I get the taste for it, I want more droid murder. So I would love to kind of like backhand this one in there. You know, yeah.
Okay, this one fails too. So you just kind of shove it down, and it lands straight on its head and kind of crumples into a heap down there.
Great.
So,
and then with the added light from these droids down there now, am I able to kind of see it all of what's going down there, or see people moving
so
in
you can see both your compatriots, and you can see them wandering around. You can even just about make out that this little panel has opened up, and they're having a look at these kind of strange artifacts.
Minx is down there pondering the orb, you know.
You got it.
But, yeah, so I've got this weird panel that's opened. Now I've got these like two droids. So can I just like use one of the droids to like help me with the panel? The panel's still a bit of a mystery to me.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking at this panel. What could it be? You're kind of you're digging into the wiring, yes, of the thing. What is your abilities as your character?
So I've got like a mini keyboard implant that can repurpose any electronic item and override electronic security under pressure.
Okay. So you're kind of having a look at this
and
thing.
I've also because my extra items, I've also got some absolutely useless shit. But amongst that, I've got like a saucepan lid. I suppose it could be used as a shield though. But among that, I have actually got some electric circuits. So I've got like a handful of electric circuits.
Okay, now this is really interesting. Okay, so you're actively taking apart this mechanism, and you're kind of starting to understand what this is doing. That this is actually like a control mechanism, and it's like a starter control for something. And it's like, and you realize that if under the right circumstances, this thing will start whatever is down here. And yeah, okay. Why don't you roll for luck or wisdom? Your choice, Dan.
I'm going to do luck, I think, because I played an absolute blinder. I got 12 for luck.
Oh, okay. So you need to roll 12 or less on luck to be lucky.
Okay, yes, I rolled an 8.
Okay then. Right. So you realize that this panel, it needs a particular hand to activate it.
Oh, okay.
It needs like a particular input, but you're able to override that. Like you've managed to through good luck and good engineering, and the fact that your character has this adaptation that it does, you can actually you could actually just start the ignition on this thing if you wanted, just with the press of an enter key on your special keyboard.
Amazing. What shall I do it? Like,
oh yeah, sorry, I look up from the orb. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, you should do it. And then go back to pondering the orb.
So do I risk a burden for doing all this, David? Am I?
No. You're not under pressure. So this isn't like during combat. It's not like just this is the thing you can do. So yeah, it's fine. It's just like part of how you've adapted. So you press enter, and suddenly everything starts to shake. The door closes. The where you came down seals off.
Oh shit.
And everything starts rumbling.
That feeling.
And you feel yourself start to move up. You hear crunching and just everything just disintegrating around you. As this particular room starts to lift up into the ground, and you're flying. You start to see the landscape in front of you.
You're in a UFO.
You're in some an interplanetary.
Where's Honeywang at?
I'm hoping that you fell down at that time. as it was starting to seal. What do you do, Honeywang?
Yeah, I think after I knocked the bot in, my plan was to go down there anyway. And I was gonna like
good choice.
I was gonna try to hold onto the edge instead of like jumping in, hold on the edge and then like hang down. So it's not like 12 feet. It's more like dropping like, like 7 feet.
Yeah. Nice.
I think right as I was like,
to you,
right. I mean, climbed rocks before. I think right as I was like grabbing the edge and like getting ready to kind of like let myself down, the whole thing just started rocking, and I definitely went like right onto the robot pile.
And that is the end of the adventure. Because you discovered like the secret, like it's basically the Easter egg in the adventure. Like it's not supposed to be like there's a whole thing that the whole adventure goes through, and you're supposed to get the hand of this asshole billionaire and put it on the thing if you kind of manage to find this secret space anyway. But hey, I said it was a one shot.
That's so funny. That is so absolutely hilarious. I don't know if y'all know this, but we have a tendency for ending episodes early because I blow everything up.
Literally, like I never expected anyone.
So what are we flying in?
Let
alone
like discover the thing, huh?
Is it a ship or what? The thing is flying is like a.
Yeah, it's like a
craft.
Nice.
Yeah. So so suddenly the party will have a spacecraft and be able to kind of move around the planet or kind of go off to Mars or whatever. Like
that's awesome.
It kind of opens up the campaign, it opens up the world, but it's like, it's sort of just there as just waiting to be discovered. But if it's not, it's kind of a fun little kind of dungeon delve, basically. But yeah, you got there straight away.
Oh, that's so cool. So is this adventure included with this is included in the
this is in the bundle. Yeah, this is in the bundle. This is A Hole in the Ground. It's one of the it wasn't even a stretch goal. I just kind of bunged it in there. It's 16.
I think it's a great way to open up like a bigger campaign to get like, yeah, here's a vehicle. Here's a big vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. It opens possibilities. It's like that moment in all the Final Fantasy games where it's like, yeah, suddenly we've got like an airship, and it's like the world opens up to you. It's like, yeah,
you've referenced Final Fantasy so many times in this show. No, it's not at all a bad thing. It's just like very interesting to see like that's a big inspiration for.
It's just I've just spent so many hours in those worlds. You know, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all the tactics games and stuff, like, yeah, it's just like that's all. It's all kind of part of the DNA of this thing. But yeah,
I mean, that's a good place to get DNA from. I played 4 quite a bit, and then I played 7 and 8 quite a bit, and 10 a lot.
Yeah.
And 10 too, more than I wanted to. So very cool.
Yeah. I absolutely 7 is one of the top 3 greatest games I've ever played ever. But we'll see where that goes. I can't believe character creation took longer than the adventure because we somehow literally beelined in the only possible way to end this in like 30 minutes. Yeah. So for those listening, hey, first of all, spoiler alert. Second, we didn't quite give you as much of the game, but this is how it works. And it was super fun. Yeah, it's hysterical. I really, really love the combination of Into the Odd and Bastards here, because it's one of the things that I loved about Bastards, and Hunter, you've run a lot more Bastards than I have.
I have.
Is that like roll for HP mechanic, and you've done an incredible job of using that roll table and nesting these other things into it. Was that always the from the very beginning, was the plan always Bastards, or did that, especially the kind of like surge of Bastard stuff recently kind of make you go, Into the Odds and Bastards?
It was literally, that was the impetus. I'd seen Micah Anderson's Bastards, thought it was really cool, really nice system, but I kind of, I had some small things that I wasn't so happy with like the resolution system and things. Nothing against the game, it just didn't gel with me. And I just thought that it could be a fun thing to kind of just mash them together. And yeah, like I said, it was before Pearlescent Edition or anything. It's like, almost a couple of years ago or something, whenever that was. but yeah, and it just sort of flowed from there. And, first of all, it was basically just a character creation game, like as in like, it's Into the Odd, but with this kind of creation system. And then it just kind of enlarge from there, and but always with like the lore and the vibe kind of stuck in at the beginning, like some of the intro text, like the world's gone to shit type stuff was just like, it was right there at the beginning. It was just like, this is the energy that this game needs, is like kind of, yeah, screw the world, we've got to make this a better place. So it's like, yeah.
one of the things we didn't do today, which like one of my favorite things, is the life paths.
That's true.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I love that. Like I know it's not unique to this game, but the whole thing, the fact that the character can die before you've even played it, it's so awesome.
Yeah, I've refined it a bit for the actual, like, the version that we're going to put out, and it's like Russian roulette. So if you roll a 1, the character dies. Is on a D6, so it's like each decade that you add to their life, it's like kind of, you can get good things, you can get bad things, but yeah, they could die. So it's like just don't push your luck too much.
That's
gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, since we did kind of only scratch the surface, was there any other part of Eco Mofos, because people can get this beta version that's out right now, right? And what you've done really is most of what in the beta version, what's in the final game, is it's just been refined and relayed out.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's being edited by Eco, and we're kind of refining it, and making it tighter, and yeah, just making sure everything fits into the world correctly and gives it the right vibe and is kind of legible and understandable without kind of me standing over someone and saying, no, you're not supposed to do it that way. But yeah, it's like, you know, making everything kind of sing really, and that's all going to go into every version. So, you know, whether you back for as a PDF or as a spiral, as the art book, it's like all the text is going to be the same. It's just going to be laid out in kind of slightly different ways, kind of more compact for the spiral version and kind of just a bit more generous for the art book, as we call it.
Gotcha.
So,
and since we only, like I said, really kind of got to scratch the surface of Eco Mofos, were there any other like specific mechanics or other parts that you really wanted to make sure that people looked at in the beta version? Something that like really, you know, stuck out or shined, or any other part of the game or the stuff that comes with it? I
guess there's obviously the burden system that was taken. It was kind of adapting something from Mystic Bastion Land, which is the game that Chris McDowell is currently working on. I think he's discarded burdens now, but I think they're really great. They're like, it's a system whereby if something difficult happens, or like you like risk a burden, lots of the abilities mean that you have to kind of roll against your luck in order to not take a burden. It kind of fills up your inventory slot. It means that you have this, you're kind of slightly curtailed for a while unless you do a certain things, and that it's always like two opposite things. So like we had for SAD, it was like kind of either tell a secret or you indulge in a secret vice. It's like kind of there's these different pathways that you can take in order to resolve it. So
yeah, I liked the enraged one. It was like
it's really like trying to bring in some of that kind of the ideas from kind of story gaming, and kind of thinking about how to inject different impetuses, different kind of motivations. And it's also a way of trying to stop, because it's quite possible to play like Into the Odd and Ken in a very hyper cautious way, and always like be very level-headed and kind of think through things rationally. Well, you can do, but this encourages you to kind of to act in maybe slightly disadvantageous ways in order to relieve yourself of your burden. So it's like it just kind of adds a little complication into that. But yeah,
very cool.
Gotcha. Yeah,
hey, what was the chrome orb? I just want to know now. What was the chrome?
Oh yeah, it's just a weird alien thing. It's like it's just a thing. Perfect. Like we can make up what it is. Like,
there you go. You need to spend the rest of your time pondering.
Yeah, exactly.
Always just like real life, frankly. So
yeah, exactly. Now, I'm afraid, guys, I've got to go. I'm being called by my family.
It's perfect. That works out that we are flying away in an alien spaceship and you get to go.
Yeah,
we really seriously.
That worked out. Yeah.
No, we appreciate you so much for being here. I mean, Hunter and I have talked about Lost Eons for a really long time. Definitely still planning to talk about this on the show at some point. Both box sets. And it's super excited for Eco Mofos. If you guys are listening, definitely go check out the beta version. Definitely go back to the Kickstarter. The art is fantastic from Daniel. It's absolutely stunning. The game is super, super fun. It's just it's a really great time. It's a really great vibe from some really fantastic people. So this is definitely something you don't want to miss. So again, really appreciate both of you guys coming on. It's been an absolute blast. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah,
wanted to come on for so long, so it's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Thanks, guys. And you guys know what all our socials are. It's listed on everywhere. I'm not going to go over it. Everyone have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys all later. Bye.
See you. Bye.
See you later.